Okay, everyone, hello and welcome to the final episode, the final review of Willow, season one. The fuck, there's gonna be another season. Oh, damn it, Disney, why do you do this to us? Oh man, I actually thought there was gonna be another episode after this. I don't know why, but I'm glad there isn't. So we're here now on episode 8. We're gonna go over it as much detail as possible. I hate this show. If you haven't noticed already, I I fucking despise it. I despise it. Oh man, let's just go over it. So where we last left off on episode 7, Alora and Kit, they fell off the waterfall to get where they are now, this ruined city. Where is this ruined city? Is it in some sort of weird dimensional rift or place in reality where the only way to get to it is to fall off the edge of the earth? I don't know. The writers don't know either. These people, there's like not much. All right, the monsters. What are they doing? They just sort of appear out of nowhere. Like they can just do that. The writers just like whenever the plot needs them to appear to fight our heroes, they just do that. They've done that um, many times throughout the entire season too. But they just sort of appear behind our girls here out of nowhere, and but it doesn't matter. They'll disappear again too after Eric like talks to them. So at this point, we know Eric is like evil. We know that. The girls are like happy to see him, but they're like, "What are you doing here?" There's just horrible, absolutely horrible exchanges of dialogue. And just acting in general between our characters here, where they go through this weird back and forth of Kit and Alora dividing their attention on Eric and on the monsters behind them, and it's just distracting. It's like the way they act. It's not human. I don't know how else to put it. It's just so horrible. Um, I think that's contributed to the dialogue and the directions of the scenes, where all the words these people are saying are just not convincing enough. Like as people and like giving the situation our girls are in, the way it's like all sarcasm. It's all satire, even though the show isn't satire, right? Like they play it off as being serious. Like everything about the show is completely serious, but the way everyone acts is not. I would like to know like the direction these people were given for the way they had to like act out these characters. I'd like to know how else what other things they've been in, what other shows, whatever movies, to see different ways of they've act. Is it just this show, these characters they're portraying, or do they do this all the time? I'm not completely sure. Anyway, it's awful, god awful, horrible. Look at these things, disgusting. They don't matter at all. Don't worry about them. So essentially, Eric tries to convince his sister and Alora to come with him, see the ways. We're gonna find out real quick what those ways are. And they're not like they're just they don't know anything, but they don't know like Eric's situation, and they just immediately like, oh, he's evil. Like, and worried about him, in context, they shouldn't know that, but they feel something's off just immediately. Anyway, we're gonna get a scene transition after this like horrible exchange that's just completely off-putting, like everything else in this show. We go back to our other central characters on the waterfall, like holy shit, they just fell. Everyone's like, oh, I guess we're gonna fall too, except for Willow. Um, this is like again just more scenes of bad dialogue. What happened in the last episode? Willow like got to like his low point of the show. He's more worried about his daughter that's back like a million leagues wherever the Peck's homeland is. He's the only one who chooses to stay behind. Willow, the main, you'd think the main character, right, stays behind at the waterfall, watches his compatriots, his allies, just fall into this basin or trench, and he doesn't know if all of them are staying alive. There's another bad scene here where basically Willow tells I forget his name. I'll never remember his name. It doesn't matter. He's not interesting. Tells him all of his attributes. Oh, you're brave. You're loyal. You're a good person. Everything that we haven't seen through this entire show. Every contradictory to everything we've seen of his character. It's crazy. Like, don't you just love it when other characters tell another character their attributes and how great they are about everything? Isn't it awesome? Anyway, we get scenes. Um, what's it called? Carly and Flash Thompson, they fall off the waterfall together, and now he's gonna fall off on his own. Willow stays behind. He doesn't want to do. He wants to go back. Whatever. It's all right. Okay. This is one of the weirdest scenes in this in this episode. I couldn't stop laughing. It was the first thing that came to my mind, and it's definitely going to be the title of the video. Let's bring it here. I wish I could show the dialogue from this scene. Maybe I should, because I know the quote anyway. Maybe we'll just do it, right? Like, how let's just try. Okay, we'll do it. Uh, be prepared. Hopefully I don't get a strike. If I do, this is gonna get cut out, and I'll just explain the quote. I'll explain it anyway.
Gives birth.
A mother gives birth. Guys, a mother gives birth. Listen to this.
Makes milk for the child.
Stop, please.
It's nourishment. It's
Nourishment.
the life that he gives to us.
Yes! He's giving it to us.
The worm.
The worm! Oh my god! So we find out a revelation. Alright, let's hope that doesn't get struck. What a horrible scene of dialogue. The mother gives birth, and she makes milk. It's nourishment for the child. So apparently, what they've been drinking this entire time is worm sperm. Now, that might sound weird if you haven't seen the episode. What is the worm? Is it, at first I thought, is it metaphorical? Is this a weird analogy about, the, evil itself giving off energy into our reality for them to drink and then become more evil? No, it's an actual worm. Like almost like Peacemaker, the show Peacemaker, and the butterflies and their like cow. This is essentially a giant colossal worm, literally humongous. We see it. There's an image of it. Later in this episode, it is gigantic. It is otherworldly huge. Who knows how huge, but it's massive. And the worm is giving off this liquid, it's worm sperm, for everyone to drink and then become part of, I guess, the worm's cult, whatever that means. It disastrous. Absolutely disastrous. Why? Why? It didn't have to be a worm. It could have just been, the liquid evil that's just they're able to create through magic. No, but it's an actual literal worm. It seems to be like evil incarnate. It's almost like the worm is like an entity from Stranger Things, like the Mind Flayer, where if you drink its sperm, you'll be under its brainwashing capabilities, which is what's happening to Eric, and the Crow is also helping in that regard. I would assume anyway. So it's a confusing mess. Are we gonna get any more crazier than it's almost like the show isn't real. it's like it's satire, but it's not. It's serious, and it's not. This is all throughout the entire show. Everything about it, the characters, the acting, just the plot in general. Now we have worm sperm trying to control like the minds of the general populace in the show, making them evil. It's fucking stupid. it's like the how do I even like present this in a coherent manner? Okay, so like if you've been watching the show, there's many instances where a lot of other shows have been doing this too, where they just create dialogue, horrible dialogue that's at a place for the scenery of every scene. So like when you watch it, everything is off-putting. The way the characters sound and the way they express themselves, it's not like it doesn't belong in the universe, right? So this is like a fantasy setting. All the characters are acting in a way that is not in a fantasy manner. Like they're not trying, right? They all act the same way. It's very, I've said it before, reminiscent of like a Californian, uh, you know, new age actor. The way they speak and they act, they just they. But what is that the direction that these writers and the directors wanted, to take these actors in, or is it just these actors are so bad this is the only way they can act? It's just so off-putting. It doesn't belong here. It doesn't belong. And there's also this over reliance on swear words too. It's also off-putting. Like I want to see very it's the way very sarcastic manner in which these characters talk, and then they add swear words to it to try and sound edgy, try to be edgy, but they're just not. It's not done well. You can do that. You can be edgy in a show like this. Um, Plenty examples of, okay, Game of Thrones, they have like good sounding dialogue and they have swear words in them. They do that, but it's coupled with like great acting too. There's like a mesh you can create. You can create that like kind of scene. You This show is not nowhere. And I mean like peak Game of Thrones, like seasons 1 through 4, not that later half, but just that's just as an example. But this is not it. Whatever's happening here. Anyway, we get to find the crow. I was wrong about who she was. I thought she was the grandmother of Kit at first, but no, she's into. I forget the name of the queen back from like the movie. I forget her name. She's part of the family, I guess, or whatever. That's not her. This is a completely different person. I thought, but whatever. But essentially, we're getting a scene where hey, we want you guys come look into the light. Laura and Kit like, no, it's obviously a trap. Look at this scene is absolutely horrible. All right, they out of nowhere. Why did they do this? What 5 feet away from each other, 10 feet probably. They're talking to each other about how, oh, this must be a trap. We can't possibly go in there. Oh, well, we don't have a plan. Well, we need a plan, right, to go in there? How are we going to get Eric? They're just listening in on them, having this weird. They're not being quiet in this scene. They're talking very loudly. Everything they're saying can be heard by the two villains up there. It's ridiculous. It's coming off as sarcastic, like it's a parody, but it's not. It's played as being. I hate that. Why are they doing that? This isn't Monty Python sketch, right? Where the entire point of it is satire. This is just the writers don't know how to write dialogue for their show or scenes that make sense for their scenes essentially. I hate it so much. Anyway, they accept their invitation into the door. Now the door is sort of a gateway. Oh, before that, we get a scene. I like how this scene they just fell off a waterfall, and there's no other like scenery around this area. This is world building issues. Wherever this what like they just fall. Like where did they fall? Right, unharmed. We're, there's all these rocks. There's no water anywhere. Where is it? Did they fall into a lake? An ocean? Where are they? Right? How did they survive that fall? It doesn't. They don't tell us. It doesn't matter, right? And they just yeah. So they just come by now. They're like, oh yeah, we're here. What a fun ride, or whatever. And then he comes. They're like, oh great, we know you. We knew you would come. Oh, there's some other really awkward dialogue here. Big man here says Flash Thompson and Carly should make out and kiss because they're probably gonna die here. Really just horrible and awkward for all of them. They know that Carly's a lesbian. Like, why? It's almost like a reminder to tell us, like, but no, wait, she's a lesbian for the audience. But we know why do that. We get it. You've ham-fisted it throughout the entire show already. Just stop. There's no point. I hate it. There's that scene transition. They're gonna like go in. They're obviously gonna go into the ruined city, try and find their friends. Okay, so they accept the invitation to go into this gateway. The gateway is sort of a realm of illusion, which they immediately understand. So they go into this gateway. They see their friends and their families, people they know, and this sort of like this magical. It's an illusion. Alora herself alludes to it. No, this isn't real. But they just sort of go along with the illusion anyway, even though they know it's fake, which is stupid. Why, if they know it's fake, it's again just like the dialogue and the way this happens. They shouldn't. Why would they accept this? Why wouldn't they try to fight the illusion? They don't really. We get into this is like a sort of boring point in the show where they're all just like talking to each other. We don't. I'm not even sure that that's like the real Eric, right? That we just saw, because this isn't her real mother. This is an illusion created by the crow and the worm. Is that the real Eric? All these other people are definitely fake. Did Eric go in there as well? Not very. It's confusing. So the rest of our gang, they come up to the door. It's locked though because they're inside. There's a giant storm coming, and the storm can turn you into stone. Flash Thompson tries to get in with magic. It's not working because the door is powerful magic. He can't get in. We stop that scene. That scene doesn't matter. They'll be fine. We get again bad dialogue. Just like the worm is really trying to convince our characters to drink the worm sperm. That's the whole point of this scene. Trying to get them under the brainwashing of the worm. They want them. Apparently, also Kit has like the blood of the six, and the crow wants her. Whatever that means, though, the blood of the six could literally mean anything. Maybe it means you have unimaginable, untapped power of some sorts. For Kit, that's true. For Eric, that's not. We just have more bad discussion dialogues of our villains here, trying to convince our heroes to drink the sperm. You drink it. Drink the juice. Drink it. Drink the juice. Don't you want the worm sperm? Drink it. It's good. It's delicious. It's yummy. Savory. it's You'll love it, I promise. No. Both of them are tempted, essentially. Kit is more tempted and is about to drink the juice. Luckily for her, she has magic father powers, where her dad, out of nowhere, is allowed to just. So Mad Mardigan literally is allowed to. From some reason, he like stops in time. This scene is so confusing. I don't know how he even like. Why would she believe the voice of her father is real anyway? She knows she's in an illusionary world, and then her father just communicates with her through her mind. She can hear his voice, but how is Mad Mardigan doing that? Mad Mardigan isn't a sorcerer. We see another time literally in this episode. This is the first time this has happened, and then later in this episode we get another scene. Well, I'll just spoil it. Willow comes back, and he connects with Alora's mind, talks to her through her mind, because he's not actually like far away from her. I don't know why he can't just yell at her in that scene. It's kind of funny, but he talks to her in her mind, and she can hear him. So this is what's happening here. Kit can hear Mad Bardigan. She's giving her the best pep talk ever. He's saying, "You're the best. You're great." Really, Kit is the Mary Sue of the show, not really Alora. He tells her, "You're better than me. You can do this. You can stop this. You can protect Alora. You're the best, and you'll always be the best." Fuck Eric, I guess. Why weren't you talking to Eric, right? Why didn't you talk to Eric, your son, when he was being literally brainwashed into being what he is now? Why her? Why her? Why not both of them? Why not both of them? Why her? Why she's our hero. Oh, we'll get to that. So this scene's confusing. I don't like it. Mad Mardigan should just connect, mind, whatever magic is like. It just doesn't make sense. It's not explained well. If they're gonna do something like this, why can he do this? Why now? Why not before? Why not to his son? Why not to help his son too when he was in a bad position? Playing favorites with his kids. So that's really funny. Basically, she stops the illusion. She gets the mental strength. Like, no, I'm not gonna drink that worm sperm. No, I'm gonna go and talk. I'm gonna go and talk to the villain. Literally, I'm gonna go talk to the villain. Like, I won't fall for your tricks. She's like, oh, great, okay. It's like literally that bad. The amount of dialogue. It's so horrible. in every scene. This is not her true form, by the way. We'll see her get into her monster form, her ugly, gross form. She's like, okay, well, I wanted your body, but I guess if you're not gonna willingly take the sperm, I'll have to turn you into stone. Could have just force fed it to her, right? Why does she have to be turned to stone? I don't know. Alora and Eric, they have a fake wedding. Uh, and this is a more off-putting dialogue where Alora's like, "Well, no, I don't have to do anything. I haven't made my choice yet." She literally says, as they're about to kiss, "Well, I'm just not that into you anymore, you know?" And they're like, "What? What do you mean?" And she's like, "Oh, you're creepy." It's like, "Well, I'm not creepy. You're creepy." It's the most high school I don't even know how to put it. It's like it just doesn't belong in this universe. Um, these characters shouldn't act this way. They should be more proper and not as formal and sarcastic in every scene of dialogue they have. It's extremely off-putting. I have to keep mentioning it. It's so horrible. You'll see it. You'll see it all throughout the show, all about it. It'll be there. You'll notice it immediately. It's very obvious. It's just bad. It's just bad. Look, compare it to anything other than this show, and then you'll see like, oh, this is horrible. It shouldn't be here. It's a horrible scene. Basically, she thinks for herself, I don't need to do this. This is just a fake wedding anyway. It's still all an illusion. She decides to not do it. Uh, the Crow is very disappointed in her actions. They're not gonna get married now. They're not gonna kiss. Kissing would have like gave Alora's life force, some like magic power to Eric and transfer it to him so he can become more powerful. It's really weird. Anyway, they were all gonna get captured, but luckily for them, again, Willow returns. He falls off the waterfall. We don't see him do it. He just appears out of nowhere. It's like, oh, he just comes back. That's fine, I guess, and saves everyone with his magic. He breaks them out of the spell. They're no longer in the illusion world. Everyone gets turned undestoned. This is like weird magic arrays. The magic arrays don't look bad. I like the way the magic is sort of presented in its form. It's confusing about like the mechanics of it. Anyway, that's another just maybe that's a nitpick. Well, I guess not. Maybe that's not a nitpick because like as people use magic to fight, so it's I would like it to be explained. They get turned back to normal, all of them, and then they just sort of meet up and like, wow, you're okay, we're okay, yay, and we're getting ready for a big fight scene. Lady person turns into a giant, gross lady monster. Let's see this scene here. There she is. She just transforms. That's her true form. um, disgusting. Very. I'm getting strange. I'm getting a lot of Stranger Things vibes from this. Just the way it looks in the CGI. It's not horrible. I'll say the CGI in the show. It's not horrible. Maybe this scene's a bit off-putting. I don't think it looks terrible. It's obvious that it's CGI. It's obvious, like what's happening here. Anyway, she takes on her true like evil form, and then the evil bad guys sort of appear out of nowhere again. They just do that. They can just do that. I guess I don't know what's controlling them. Do these people have a will of their own? They're not people, right? They're just monsters. What what are they? what are they? I don't know. They're they don't are they they're just creatures of some kind. They're evil. They're worse than like evil cronies. Anyway, now we get into the fight scenes. Horribly edited fight scenes. Look at this. I don't want to go let it run through because then I might get a strike. But yeah. Anyway, they're just horrible cuts and edits throughout. We're going to see it throughout this show. Oh, and there's some more bad dialogue here. Let's see if I can find it. Before we get into any of the fight scenes, here it is. Maybe we can listen to it. Let's see it.
You can defeat the worm? He's eternal, bitch.
Right there. Why? Off-putting as hell. Why? Why? She's declaring her evil plan. You can't defeat us. The worm is eternal, bitch. What is the manner? Why? How do you? Why? Why do you sound like that? Why? Why those words specifically? It's again, it's just another reason about the horrible dialogue. You don't you could have said any other sentence and it would have been better than that. It's not. It's like it's satire. It's not funny. It's not edgy. It's just bad. It's cringe. Absolutely cringe. Anyway, horrible edit. Like, what is happening here? I don't know. Awful editing. Horrible action scenes. It's all throughout the entire show. Horrible, despicable action scenes everywhere. We get a self-sacrificing scene here with Flash Thompson. I still don't remember his name. He's going to use the Elder Tree Branch wand, the little wand, to attack her with all of his magic, with all of his strength. It seems like it would have done something, but it doesn't. She just shrugs it off with her shield or whatever, and basically vaporizes him. Uh, Look at the scenes here. The emotions from Allura, the actors playing her, none at all. Crazy. She doesn't know how to act or emote in any scene. She breaks the little wand, throws it into the worm goo, the worm sperm. It's funny, and then the crow here just vaporizes Flash Thompson. Pretty funny. He's dead now. Bye bye. Bye bye, Flash. Nothing. There he goes. Bye bye. You're gone. Oh! Warwick Davis is the only one who's like, no. No one talks about anything, by the way, in the show. We don't have like any like even after this. There's not even like any really heartwarming scenes about Flash's like death, quote unquote death. Um, it's pretty funny. This is where Allura, without the wand, I believe she finds the power. Oh, no, this is the scene. She peeks inside the gate, and we find the colossal image of the worm. So this is the worm. It's not like metaphorical. It's not like a title of the organization these cultists are in. No, it is literally a giant worm. Spanning who knows how many leagues of miles, maybe thousands, maybe less, maybe the entire world. Maybe it's like the snake from the myths of Jorgamander, if I'm saying that correctly. I believe I'm not. But if you know about from God of War, but not God of War really, but Norse mythology, the snake the Ouroboros, the snake that wraps around the world. Maybe it's like that at size. It's not explained. It's just huge. I guess it doesn't really matter. I would like to know how big it is, but we probably won't get that. She just takes little peek inside. It's like, oh yeah, let me look inside there. Look at this scene. Look how what. There's no dialogue here in this scene. It's just sound, and then her staring for about 5 seconds. What is she thinking? I can't tell what she's thinking. What was her direction for this scene? There's more to this later. When her action scenes, we'll see it. It's ridiculous what happens. It's so fucking funny. I can't believe it. Here she's gonna realize the power within herself. She is the chosen one. She does not need a wand. She didn't need a conduit in order to use her powers anymore, her magic. She can just do it now, which that's character growth essentially. She is the chosen one. She is allowed to do that. It's fine. Look at this. Look, Page blasts her leagues away. I'm gonna have to get this scene, and we're gonna have to look at it frame by frame because it's so ungodly horrible. Every it's coming later around now. She's a horrible actor. She's happy that Willow comes back. More minions come up. There's just gonna be more fighting until we can, bad action scenes. We're gonna get through most of this. It's just more horrible. Oh, this is important. A thief man gives her the special suit. And the special suit is going to give her special suit powers because only she can wield it. Because only someone of good of heart can do that. This is very tropey. But I understand. I've seen a lot of shows. They do this. They magical equipment that only the pure of heart wearers can use, or use to fight. I've seen it all before. It's nothing really new. What's happening here? Here it is. All right, we're gonna have to go frame by frame. Let's get this scene. It's absolutely abysmal. It's just so funny. I don't even know how to. Hold on, we're gonna get it. I have to keep talking, like no, because otherwise, look what she does. All right, so look what our villain. She's listen. Our actress here learned from the Ray Skywalker School of Acting. Mouth agape. through every scene, mouth agape. I don't close my mouth. I don't move my eyebrows. I don't move my eyes. I don't snarl my nose. I don't move my jaw. What is she thinking? I don't know. Listen, all right. So look how she's controlling her power through her hands, right? Like this seems pretty normal, right? The way she's summoning her ability, like it looks okay, right? This is what she's doing to like the little lightning streaks, the red lightning streaks of her powers condensing in the palm of her hands into the other palm and the bottom hand of her right hand, right? That looks okay. That doesn't look bad. All right. Watch what happens with the Lord. Ah! Oh, look at. Let's watch that one more time. We're gonna go back. Let's look at Alora here. Whoa! What is she doing? What's she doing there? What? I'm staring. Let's look at that one more time, guys. One more time, guys. One more time. Let me rub my hands up my body and stare at you and turn my head some way and not mouth agape. What was going through her mind when she was doing this? What is even happening here? Why does she start out? Listen, this is just absolutely strange, right? This is nitpicking, absolutely, but like, look at it's just so fucking funny. What is happening here in this scene? She's moving her arms almost like a stripper would. like a girl would, like trying to seduce you, moving her body like that, like, right? Like girls do that, like almost like a cam model. And use the lightning bolts. But then she, like, what is happening here with her left arm? Like, it's almost like she was about to dance, and then she just like and blocks her attack. What was her direction for this scene? Like, look at what her villain, her counterpart, is doing. She's just summoning the power very simply. This is like very simple. Even what like the villain is doing right here is something you see all the time, and like in like magic systems where they gather their power into their hands, and they like move it very simply, almost like charging, right? Like if you've seen Dragon Ball Z, almost like that, like charging, right? But then Alora, why this? Who told her to do this? Why she doesn't emote with her face, right? And she's barely, it's like she's barely not trying. But when she's moving her body. Who was telling her to do this? This couldn't have been improv, right? The director had to have been like, all right, so like I want you to like grab your torso a little bit and just like move your hands up and just wiggle around slightly. And then, like, don't make any faces. The same face you've made throughout the entire show. Mouth agape. No one can tell what you're thinking. You have no emotions at all. I have no idea what's happening. I probably shouldn't spend so much time on this, but it's so funny. Oh my god, it would have been better if she just would have made like the Kamehameha, right? If you oh my god. If she just did like the power move, right? Where she brings her hands to her hip and then expels the magic, outwards in front of her, it would have been like 1,000 times better. What is happening here? I just don't understand. Obviously, I would have called that out. Like, dude, she's doing the Kamehameha. That's hilarious. They definitely stole that. But that would have been better than what's happening here. I just I don't understand. I really want to know, like, what was happening during, like, the filming of this scene and what the direction was for our actor here, what she was thinking, how did this come to be? It's ridiculously funny. I have no idea. So, like, she does it. She does the power move one-handed, and then she's just like, "Bleh!" Now they're having a huge magic battle. All right, now, and throughout this later, there's like a lot of like, I would put it as seizure warnings, a lot of flashing lights, really horrible editing. Lots of green and red, and it's sort of later on. Anyway, Willow is fighting these weird minions. He can just use man. Look at that, it's fucking hilarious. Warwick Davis. Oh shit. Oh. Why didn't you do this before, Warwick? Why didn't you use your magic to save your friend? Very inconsistent. They literally killed his friend just for no reason. Willow could have done this the entire time. Back in episode 3, if you remember, or was it? Yeah, it was episode 3 when his friend Peck died. That we knew from the first movie. I don't know why I keep saying first movie. It's just the only movie. Back from the movie. Back then. It's so, I've said it before, I believe, in my other review I did. But it's just, why? It's a useless death. And they've never talked about him after that either. There was no, like, actual resolution for Willow's character talking about his friend, really. Quite sad. They just forget about him. They don't care. It doesn't matter. This is at the point where Willow is going to connect to Alora's mind telepathically while she's fighting. She's going to lose out here in their weird magic battle, and there's a lot of flashes. It's very horrible editing, battle scenes. We get more bad dialogue here. Eric, well, then not on Eric's part, I would say, more on like Kit's part. Eric is like, no, stop it. I'm gonna fight you two. You're getting in the way of what we're trying to do here. Eric is being brainwashed, obviously. Kit and Carly here, like, no, we gotta stop you. You're our friend, our ally, trying to be, whatever. There's this weird scene here. Maybe I should just play it. No, I don't want to play it. I don't want to get a copyright strike. But essentially, Eric is like, I'm your king. And Carly's like, oh, this conversation's over. Like, something like, what do you mean, Carly? He is your prince. He can't be king? I don't understand. And then they just start fighting. So he wants like, Eric has like some sort of motivation. We don't know anything about Eric, right? He hasn't really been in the show for very long. This is like the longest he's been in the show, this episode. He was in the last episode a little bit. It was like finally we got to like see a little bit more about him, but honestly not really. But it seemed he had some sort of motivation to be king. Why can't he be king, Carly? This is a weird scene too. Let me skip that. Weird frames. I just don't understand. It's like an impossible notion for him to be king, even though he's the prince. He's not allowed, Carly? I don't understand. Why not? What's so bad about him? Why would he be a bad king? I know he's being brainwashed now, but it's almost like, no, he can never do that. It's but Kit's not gonna be queen, right? Because she wants to be a fighter. She is a warrior. So someone's got to be ruler of the land. Why not Eric? Why not Eric? Like that. the magic moves. Here comes like the weird flashing lights and bad editing. So seizure warning for people. I wish I had that warning, but apparently not. Lots of weird flashing lights. This is when Willow connects with her mind, even though they could probably just meet each other somewhere in the battlefield, and then talk to each other instead of talking to her telepathically. Eric is doing quite well in his fight against Carly and Kit, by the way, even though he's like trying to hurt them. He's like defending against them very easily. Oh, this is weird, by the way. Let's see it. I believe she gets tackled. Yeah, so they're having a fight here. They're magic users. For some reason, Alora decides to attack her with magic. She deflects, tackles her. No reason. Why tackle her? Why not just use more magic? It's not like you're going to overpower her. physically, because look how small you are. She's like a weird monster. But again, here Eric's doing quite well, I guess, against his battle with these chicks. You'd think that he would lose immediately, or at least I would think that, because they're like the best warriors in the realm, quote unquote, from what we know. At least Carly is, I guess. But I guess Eric is a good warrior too, even though we never seen him train, we never seen him fight. But he can just do this, he can just fight like that, whatever, I guess. Just strange things. This is at the point of the story. The crow finally has Alora on the back foot, but it's okay because Alora finds the will within herself and the magic and the power to send her back. And this is her mouth agape, as always. It stops her. Boom! Destroys her. Mouth agape. Look at the moves she does. It's crazy. She's hurting the crow. And more flashing lights, seizure warning. Essentially, what happens here? Alora does what she needs to do, blows a hole through the crow's chest here. Let's see that scene. Bam! Just blasts her with magic and essentially kills her. Giant hole through her stomach or chest area. Very, very sad. Eric is very sad. She goes back. She gets tired. Eric goes to her. She goes back to her human form, and they make out. This is Eric made out with this. By the way, at first when I thought she was the queen, the like grandmother queen, in this new form, I thought Eric made out with his grandma. It's like, oh, that's bad. No, she's entirely. That's not what happened. Okay, this is an entirely different character. We're gonna get another fight scene here. After even, the battle isn't over yet. It's not over. They make out once more. It's kind of gross. They're like, wow, he's making out with the weird, disgusting witch lady. She's transferring her evil to Eric, her like absolute evil. It's unclear. Before that, before we get to like what happens here, uh, she uses the power of the armor, and the armor is like a magic-based armor, so it has the ability to transform to the wearer. It almost seems like the armor would have fit her and only her. Almost like very convenient that it works on her and her alone, not Carly. Um, this is an okay. I've seen like transformation magic like this plenty of times in shows, in anime. We get a scene. We get like an Evil Dead scene almost. I actually like Evil Eric. Evil Eric is much better than lame frat boy Eric, pretty boy Eric. This is very Evil Dead-esque. I don't mind if I'm gonna praise anything about the show. I'll praise the makeup work here. It's not horrible. I like it. I like he has like a dead eye. His hair is all changed now. The power of evil has corrupted him. He's going to kill people. He's gonna kill Alora. I like Evil Eric. Just that yell. But it's not gonna be true though. We get horrible fight scenes against Kit and Eric here. Just awful, awful editing. Holy fuck! Look at this. Big wide swings, weird scenery, flashing lights, bad editing. I actually like what Evil Corrupted Eric does. He's like, I'm gonna kill you, Ket. Get out of my way. I'll kill you to get to Alora. Ket's like, no, come back. Obviously, the power of good triumphs over evil. She is our hero. Kid is our hero. She couldn't possibly lose in a one-on-one. She's being buffed by magic armor. It's not clear whether this armor gives her like actual stat boosts. It gives her a weird. I forget what that weapon is called. The Assassin's Creed weapon, but it's like longer. It's like a longer sword, not like the hidden knife blade. There's like an actual name to this weapon. I've seen it being used in other series too. I just don't remember. It's not clear. Like, she obviously has a defense boost because it is armor, but I'm not sure whether like her speed or her power is being amped by the armor as well. Like, just how magic is this armor? Is it like giving her body increases to her stats? I just not really. It's not. How do I phrase it? It's not. We don't know. Anyway, we got just bad like editing fight scenes with flashing lights. She defeats him, obviously, knocks him out somehow. And then they have the scene where they're gonna. Willow breaks the old staff of his magic crystal. They just all appear out of nowhere after they fight. Um, let's get to that scene where Willow breaks his staff. Yeah, there we go. He breaks the staff. Well, we're gonna now. You hold the staff. You hold the crystal in his hands and try and reach the light. This is more like friendship, power up stuff. Again, very cliche. It's. I would even say this is probably a bad thing because he gets unpossessed by the evil. But is it really though? I'm sure this is gonna come back and play if they're gonna do a second. They're definitely they're planning to. There's a cliffhanger. Who knows if it's actually gonna come out? This show is getting horrible reception everywhere. Um, just more bad dialogue that like shouldn't be around. Anyway, he sees the light. He gets unpossessed. It's like, oh, I'm fine now. I'm gonna be part of the group. They talk about Flash Thompson for like 10 seconds. No one will know, what he did for us and how brave he was. They're like, unless we tell them. Absolutely, dog shit. Dog shit all around. There's more bad dialogue, like, oh, we don't even know how to get out of this place. We'll find a way, it doesn't matter. And they ride off into the sunset. End of the episode. Eric in tow. They finally found their mission. Their mission was to get Eric. They had a lot of troubles along their way. They've found more. They found out about themselves, character-wise, quote unquote. I still don't know her name. Willow is up in the air. His whether the visions he had were true or not, we don't know. Anyway, they ride into the sunset. We get a weird still frame over here. It's almost like Alora knew that we're gonna find her right here. Flash Thompson is alive. He's in the gate. He's fine. He is alive. He's somehow. It seems to be implied that what's happening here is also an illusion, and the worm is controlling him in some way. It's not. This is like this battlefield is like the vision that Willow had in a previous episode where Alora was like damaged, but this obviously isn't Alora. We know that. So this is like the worm talking. I assume so. Anyway, this is the worm talking to Flash here. We don't know like exactly what's going to happen. Excuse me, guys. I gotta sneeze. Choo! Excuse me. Woo! Or not back from that sneeze. We don't like. Is Flash like back in time? Is this an illusion? I'm not. I think it's really an illusion. Basically the worm is coming to Flash in this form, saying like you're gonna be my vessel. Maybe not vessel, but you're like harbinger per se. My new right hand minion. I want him. The worm wants him. Obviously, as a pawn, basically, but maybe an executive pawn. Anyway, at the end, there's just horrible rock music blasting that's completely out of place for the scene. This is the last scene. It's like an Easter egg. This is the end of the show, and that's it. Damn, what a ride this show was. Based on characters created by George Lucas. Based on. What a phrase. This is the end of the show. I'm happy that the season's over. This was a terrible show. It was hot garbage. Everything in it was bad. I can't really find maybe some sets and like there was some animatronic work that was okay. Like the mudfish looked interesting as like a creature. But everything they're really I can't really say anything good about this show. I don't like any of the characters. They're all insufferable. The way they just their acting in general is just cringe and bad. It's like shouldn't be made for a show like this. A high fantasy powered show with like twists and turns of these characters and character building. It just doesn't work. The plot is very slow and messy. A lot of confusing things. Very bad world building. Um, I feel bad for Warwick Davis being part of this show. This is technically his like series, honestly, since the movie. But it's just been bastardized by Disney. Of course it is. It's another series that not even that like the Willow movie was like that good. I said it before. I don't think it was that good, but just another thing that, but it had fans, right? It was definitely a cult classic. uh, just another thing for Disney to fucking ruin. How many more shows and how many more franchises do we need to just ruin, right? This show could have been great. It could have been great. It could have had good characters. Could have had a good plot with decent acting. Didn't have to be perfect as long as it was like acceptable and fun. It could have been a fun show. It's almost like they wanted it to be a fun show, but they didn't. They didn't know how to do that. Fun, as in like They're trying way too hard with the dialogue between characters. I've said it numerous times. I will keep repeating it. It's just the way that characters speak to each other is just completely off-putting, goofy, very cringe. It didn't belong. It was like they were trying to be edgy with a lot of scenes as well that just didn't work. They didn't know how to make it work. Um, I'm glad I'm done with this show. This is the last review, guys. All right, I think I'm done rambling throughout this. I hope you enjoyed. Uh, woo! This is gonna be a doozy. It's gonna be a doozy. I will come out with an overall review. I believe I will anyway. I might actually not have time. I don't know yet. I'm thinking about doing it, but tentative. I have other things I have to push out first, so we'll see. I maybe don't look out for that. I'm not actually sure. But okay, yeah, I'm done. Tell me what you guys thought of the show. Did you like it? Did you hate it? How would you compare this show to The Witcher: Blood Origin? Did you? I would say this show's worse because it went like 4 episodes longer than it needed to. So that's my opinion. Anyway, okay, I'm done now. Yeah, you guys have a good day and see ya.